Now, when mountains of mining waste coursed through a Brazilian river valley after a dam collapsed 9 years ago, homes were swept away. 19 people were killed. It was one of the worst environmental disasters in Brazil's history. The parent company of the mining firm involved is partly British-owned. So claims for compensation all this time later are being contested in the British courts.
The Brazilian state of Minas Gerais translates into general mines. But many here will tell you that mining has destroyed the lives of those who lived here. In 2015, an avalanche of contaminated waste was released following the collapse of the Fundão Dam. It wiped out the village of Bento Rodrigues in minutes. It is difficult to imagine the panic that ensued as billions of litres of toxic waste rampaged down this street. People have told us that children were running for their lives and those left behind didn't stand a chance. School pupils returning home were swept to their deaths. One of them was Giovanna's 7-year-old son, Tiago. His lifeless body was found more than 60 miles away.
A dentista dele tinha carga dentária, que foi reconheceu que era verdadeiramente ele. A partir daquele momento, minha vida acabou, sabe? E até hoje, estou nessa luta por justiça.
The justice she's talking about is a lawsuit against BHP, the part British-owned parent company of the mining operator San Marco. Around 700,000 claimants want them to take their share of responsibility over the dam collapse. What will victory in the UK courts mean to you?
É a única coisa que me dá esperança. É a única coisa que me dá esperança.
The mining companies will say they have taken responsibility. A $5 billion compensation package has led to the construction of a new bento. They say over £2 billion has been paid directly to more than 430,000 people, and 450 properties have been rebuilt. And they insist they remain committed to providing reparations for those affected by the Fundão Dam collapse. They say this has been done via the Brazilian justice system and the continuing work of the Renova Foundation. But that is not enough, says the lawyer bringing the case to the High Court.
This dam was unfortunately constructed in one of the cheapest ways available, and decisions were made very consciously right the way up to the board level of BHP, the largest mining company in the world, to effectively expand production because iron ore prices were high, despite the risks of something like this happening.
And when it did happen, contaminated waste travelled hundreds of miles through the River Doce, eventually reaching the indigenous Krenak community. To them, their river was sacred. It is where their children learned to swim, and it was their source of food.
Então sempre a gente estava no rio, a gente estava pescando, a gente estava caçando, a gente estava brincando. Tudo era no rio.
BHP strongly refutes claims the mine was constructed cheaply. They also say the water in the affected areas of the Doce River system is now back to the same quality as before the dam failure, and that it's false to claim the mud was toxic. It will be up to the High Court to decide who was ultimately responsible for this disaster and what part, if any, the British parent company played. Rachel Townsend, News at 10, Brazil.